He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron.
Good evening. It's the month of December.
Yeah, it's going to be a December to remember.
December to remember. I like that.
It's going to be a December.
There's some good football going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the NFL. Baker Mayfield goes to the Rams. And what do you think about that?
Well, evidently they saw what Baker was made of early on over there in Carolina. And but, you know, when you go to teams like that after being one of the top picks coming out of the draft and him going to two teams already in the same season, it's something that's quite, you know, not quite right with that. And I hate it for him because I was always in his corner because I think, you know, it's about timing, having the right players around you, and then getting in there and becoming the leader and leading the team. But he just didn't fit with the Panthers.
Yeah, he asked to be released because he wasn't going to be the backup to Sam Darnold. They were going to make P.J. Walker the backup, so he did ask to be released.
Well, out of the three, he was making the highest salary. He was making the most, you know, so he had to go somewhere that he had to fit. I'm telling you, Houston would have been a perfect place for him.
They didn't even put a waiver out for him on the when he got be a free agent.
Okay.
So they put a waiver request for him. The only team that did was the Los Angeles Rams.
So, well, the Rams, because you know Stafford been hurt all for the last 4 or 5 weeks. He hadn't played.
Yeah, and I've asked this question on the Mac, Jack, and Jim show, the Big Show. And do you think Stafford is a Hall of Famer?
I think now since he won the Super Bowl, he can be put in the Hall of Fame because one of his top receivers, Kevin Smith, is in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah, but here's my problem with the whole thing: they never won anything.
I understand that, but the stats shows, you know,
then you're saying Tony Romo's a Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. But
you can't say that.
But you know, the Hall of Fame is part of that too. Is popularity, right? You know,
that is true. It's
where you played, and the media and the sports writers, you know, how they feel about you and what you're doing after football too. So, but Tony Romo could easily be. He could easily be because he's in the top 2-3 pass rating of all time Cowboys. I think he might be ahead of Trademan.
He didn't win.
Yeah, but he's ahead of Trademan on a lot of the stats.
That is true, but there's a different era too. He did not win a Super Bowl. He never even had the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. The only reason, and Rams won the Super Bowl with Aaron Donald on that last play, if you remember.
Yeah, that's true.
So personally, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he was an excellent player. He had Calvin Johnson, who was a tremendous player.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. And that's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, and you know, Deion Sanders said 2 or 3 months ago that the Hall of Fame is not what it used to be.
It really isn't. It really is. Because you got players that are really, truly not elite.
Yeah. It's been a lot of good players, and some of the players who's in there, who've gone in there, you know, it's a lot of people. That's why a lot of people can say, I should be in there. I should be in there, you know.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And then, you know, I think Elson Wall should be in there, you know.
Yeah. He could be, possibly. He was one of the all-time leaders in interceptions. He won a Super Bowl with the Giants. So he does have, I could see him.
Yeah, he got 2 Super Bowls. Hey, Jason, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Jason? Kirk Cousins, when he doesn't play either Philadelphia or the Cowboys, yes, he's having a Hall of Fame year.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Jason. If he win and take them back into the Super Bowl, I'm gonna have all my buddies to vote him in. If he win the Super Bowl, it was somebody I saw somebody the other day said, "Man, Kirk Cousins stink." I said, "Man, don't be talking about Kirk Cousins, man."
Yeah, because Jason, that'll upset Jason.
Yeah.
And he's talking. We're gonna get to that, but we might as well get to it now. Jason, we have a script. You got to understand it. You're messing up our script. But the thoughts on the Lions favored by where the game is in.
The game's gonna be in Detroit, and I think Detroit gonna spank them.
I think Detroit's gonna win. Detroit's won 5 games in a row.
I think they're on the winning streak.
Yeah, Detroit's got a possibility of being in the playoffs. You know that.
Oh yeah, they might make wild card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Detroit's got a possibility.
I tell you what, the Vikings ain't gonna go in there and dominate. That's for sure.
No.
The only game that Detroit lost that was lopsided was when they went to New England and Patriots and played.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I had to wipe my face on that.
That's true.
Yeah. I'll say 2 games then. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. No joke.
But yeah, they've been competitive in every game, and they're playing well now.
Yeah.
So and you think 2.5 points, so that means they're a 5.5 point favorite because you always give the home team 3 extra points. So
Always.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you always give the home team the extra points.
But I can say this: it should be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. But it's interesting if you notice in the big games, as good as he is, Justin Jefferson does not show up. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and
not show up in the big games.
And I tell you, Detroit defense, they fly around. That's what I like about the defense. They fly around, they get after you.
Yeah. But let's talk about some other. We'll talk about that a little bit more later.
Okay.
But what do you think about Deion Sanders in his introduction meeting when he tells the players that you need to transfer, get in the portal because I'm bringing in my own luggage. And
I think that's really good. I think if one thing about playing the game of football, either you're gonna love competition or you're gonna be afraid of it. Mm-hmm. And some people over there don't deserve scholarships. Some people over there didn't put 110% effort on the football field. So they were just trying to come in and say, "Hey, this is what we stand for now."
But and I agree with you. Yeah, but I agree with you 100%. You got to be able to compete, and you got to build the roster. We were there, and we won the Pac-12 South.
Right.
So you got to.
You know what it takes. You know what it takes to get these young men on the same page. You coaching 18 to 22-year-olds mostly, and you got to keep them focused. You got to keep them. You got to keep them engaged. You got to keep them. Hey, this is what we're about, and this is not horseplay. This is not about losing, but you have a responsibility. And what I love about Deion, he treat them like men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But some things he's got to understand. Well, you can get away with some things at Jackson State. He won't be able to get away with Colorado. First of all, when an AD tells you, they asked him a specific question because Deion's making like $5.9 million. Mm-hmm. Do you have the money? And they said, no, we don't have it, but we're going to figure out a way to get it. That's scary because we ran into the same issue at Colorado. At first, they did find the money, but on a extended, that's why they have so much problems. They've only won twice in the last 15 years. And
let me say this though. When Deion is walking off that plane, a trail is following him, and that's the money. People gonna think so. Hey, I'm telling you, he gonna bring the money, and the people are gonna want to pay.
You got to understand too about Colorado. First of all, the demographics are low, mm-hmm. and It's not a Texas or an A&M or a Georgia where they have a multiple millionaires. They don't have that much. They don't have that many millionaires. And I'm sure he's going to bring excitement to the, and I'm not saying that, and he can win, but on a consistent basis, he will not be able to do it.
But what just what you talked about, they didn't have that in Jackson either. They ain't have no big.
Yeah, but here's the problem with it is in Jackson, he had the best talent within the SWAC. At Colorado, he's not going to have the best talent.
But college football, I've been watching college football, especially in SWAC. That every year, their talents and skill sets almost equal around the whole conference. So what I'm saying, what Deion did, he went out and got the number one recruiter to come play for him.
Yes, he did.
So things like that, that's something that never happened in the SWAC. So that's some of the things that I see. And then he brought in sponsors. He brought in people. He would.
And he does that. He's basically an influencer.
So he's a big influencer. So when you go to Colorado and you've been to Colorado, you know all about it better than I could say. But I'm telling you, I think that trail of money and influence and prestige gonna follow him over there.
Yeah, the biggest thing is it's with the skill positions, but can he do enough in the interior positions, the lines? Because that's where
I didn't know Zimmer was gonna be his DC.
No, Mike Zimmer's not. They got Charles Kelly from Alabama. He was the co-coordinator at the University of Alabama.
Okay,
they've already signed it and got the papers. Zimmer's not gonna be his DC.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that's another thing too. Being able to recruit is gonna be key.
But you got to remember, here's the problem you run into. And I'm not saying I think Deion's going to be successful, but the problem he runs there is there are programs that are doing the same thing and they have more money. I mean, like Oregon. I mean, they have all that Nike money. Yeah. USC has a plethora of alumni. Some people don't want to leave California, UCLA, Cal. So you got to understand that when you're dealing with it. I know USC and UCLA are leaving the conference, but then you got a lot of Big Ten schools that recruit in the same areas. And then you got Big 12 schools. So you got a little bit, it's a little different because you're all going for the same people.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. He'll win. And
I guarantee you, he's gonna get some people from Texas to come over there to Colorado.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get some. He's gonna get some from California.
Yeah,
and he'll get some from Florida. We got all from those places,
right?
So that's gonna happen. He's gonna have to go through Louisiana. He's gonna have to go to Mississippi. And they're gonna have to recruit. I mean, they're gonna be on planes 24/7. I'm letting you know. They're gonna be on planes because we were.
Yeah, you got to be 24/7. Yeah, you got to be able to get out there and get it and get in front of the kids and the parents and recruit some superstars.
Yeah, you got to find, but you also got to find hidden gems because here's the problem that you run. And you said he's going to recruit in Texas, and there's tiers of players. The top tier are most likely with TCU success, with Texas, with Joey McGuire there. With Texas, the University of Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Now Houston's going into the Big 12. A kid's going to say, and the first thing they're going to tell him is this, Byron. They're going to say, well, why are you going all the way up to Colorado when you can go here and your family doesn't have to pay all that money? And I know what you're going to say, the NIL collective, that money. But who's going to pay that? Their fans are not going to pay that kind of money. And they don't have boosters like the Texas or the A&Ms or the TCUs or the Techs. And that's what I'm saying. So he's battling in here in Texas. So instead of getting the top tier guys, he's going to get 3 or 4. Don't fool yourself. And even in California, it's the same issue. He's not going to get until he has success. And then he might do. He's going to have to do a lot of evaluation on players to get that job or that hidden gem.
This really gonna tell us how good a coach he is and how good of a inspirational influencer he will be, because this is going to be that's a very challenging position.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you, because we had to do that. And, we found some gems, but the majority of them, they're not the top players in these states. He's going to have to find the players that may be a little bit overlooked, but they have the skill set. They just need to be taught.
So Colorado, they only won one game this year?
Yes.
So what do you think they're going to win next year? How many games?
Well, they'll win some games, and he'll get them to play hard. I think they'll win maybe 3 or 4, and then he'll win more the next year. We did the same thing.
Okay.
And the thing is that you still, as good as we got in the 90s, they won with Darren Hagan as the quarterback, Sal Inessi, and they have a great history.
Right.
Bill McCartney did a tremendous job there.
Oh, he did a fantastic job there. Yeah.
But like I said, the issue with them is money, because it's different now. For a prime example, B. John Robinson at the University of Texas is getting $2 million. He drives a Ferrari that they lease to him. The quarterback drives a Bugatti. Same thing at A&M. And if you understand what I'm saying, these guys can get the best players, and it's legal now. And that's the issues you run in college football, because the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Floridas, the Texas, and they're gonna get the cream of the crop. But they have to develop them, and they have to find the right fit for their program.
Well, what I was gonna say about this too, A&M had one of the best recruiting classes the last couple of years, and look what they got.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you 100%, because just because you're a 5-star, that's somebody else's opinion. Do you play like a 5? Do you compete like a 5-star?
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that mature and get better in college.
Well, one of the things I can say this, I can make this statement too. The transfer portal have made teams can get good instantly, quicker, and it could be a big plus for a lot of teams.
But how do you get them to a place like Colorado? That's the question you got to ask. But I agree with you now.
Yeah.
Because you can't just drive from Dallas. It takes you 12 hours or 14 and a half, really, to drive from Dallas to Denver. Yeah. It's not like going to Austin or going to Texas Tech. Yeah. So and I agree with you. He's going to get some players in the portal, the transfer portal. And I agree. But you can't build your team for success over the long term like that. No way. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happened. I think he'll have some success, because I just say that is a good conference to tap into, Big 12, and so I mean say the big Pac-12. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, but right now the big dog is going to be Oregon, because USC obviously, and Utah. I love that coach at Utah. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. He's only had, I think, while we were there, we beat him only once. He has kids, but he's got some built-in advantages. But he does a tremendous job. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about pro football. Deshaun Watson played this week. Terrible game. A lot of rust. They had 131 yards. Yeah. For a guy to make that kind of money, $46 million a year, and some of the things that's happening, I heard it was protesting in the stands, and just a lot of things going on. Defense actually won the game for Cleveland. Yeah, they did in special teams. But what do you expect from Deshaun Watson? It was almost 2 years. He has almost 2 years, but still though, you're a professional quarterback. You ain't like your first rodeo. You the success he had at Clemson, some of the things that he has done since he's been in the National Football League. 131 yards
It's not good enough.
Wouldn't you think he have to get his timing and learn? Because the speed of the game is different in a practice than opposed to
you're a professional. You can get 131 yards in 8th grade, junior high, Pop Warner. But I'm just telling you that he should have had a better performance than that.
Yeah, well, the problem I have with that comment is that Zach Wilson hadn't been in trouble, but he couldn't get no more than 177 yards. So at the Jets,
well, it's one of those things where you're a quarterback. It's all about confidence too, and you got to have that cockiness. Yeah. And that's the approach you got to take. That's what I like about Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Those guys. They're gonna have 250 yards a game and 2 or 3 touchdowns. They don't have bad nights.
Yeah. Speaking of Tom Brady, how about that comeback? I picked the Saints.
Who did I pick? The Bucs. I picked the Bucs.
I think you did pick the Bucs.
Yeah, I picked. Let me look and see. Green Bay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I picked the Bucs.
Yeah.
And I picked Cleveland too.
I picked Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, we both picked Cleveland.
Yeah, I didn't pick the Bucs. I know I picked New Orleans, and New Orleans should have won that game.
New Orleans should have won that game. These coaches, man. I think this analytics and all this, these, the percentile and this going against this, go for 2 when you need to go for 1, blah blah blah. It ain't working.
No.
The bottom line is you got to have a good rushing, a good offensive pass scheme. You got your linemen have to block and scheme block and then gap block, and then your defense got to come out. And then special team. It's a 3-part approach to playing this game of football.
Yeah. That is true.
So I understand losing a game every now and then, but man, you can when some of these teams, they look pathetic. Yeah,
they do, because they trust analytics, and it's still a human game.
It's a human game. It's still a game about not making stupid bonehead mistakes.
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly right.
Jumping off sides and holding. We done got the ball down to the inside the 5-yard line. We got to hold it. Got to go back to the 30-yard line.
That's true. But within that game in Tampa Bay, there was an obvious holding call, and they didn't call it. I mean, they almost tackled the guy. I was like, what? Are you serious?
That's part of the game, too, that, those referees, they call what they want to call, especially on holding. Really, you can call holding almost on every play.
They really do. And I'll tell you another team that's getting hot right now, and they're 5-7, is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Thought they beat the Chargers.
Just think about it. They 5-7. Just think if they would have won those 3 games when they were 17 points up.
Exactly.
They would have been, 8-4?
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Devontae Adams would be fighting for the MVP of the NFL if they would have won those games. Yeah,
he would have been on top. He would, every time a number 1 receiver, making $25 million, blah, blah, blah. He got some commercials and stuff, but what I'm saying, he would have been on top.
Yeah, and then they're doing this without Waller and Hunter Renfrow. You got to think, too.
Renfrow is no joke.
Yeah, and I think Waller's going to eventually get traded.
Yeah, his name been in the trading conversation for a while.
Yeah, I think he will get traded.
I think too. He might have. I don't know if he have a good relationship with Josh.
That's what I question.
That might be what's happening with that, because he's a Pro Bowl receiver unless they want to get some draft choices for him.
Yeah, and the running back Josh Jacobs is doing an excellent job too. So
hey, he gonna get paid. His next contract after this, he playing out his option.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid by somebody.
2 weeks ago, 228 yards. Nice.
Unbelievable. And they're playing better. Playing better. But we better start talking about the games this week. Here's an interesting one at 12 o'clock. I will start with 12 o'clock games.
Okay.
New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. New York beat, obviously, Buffalo before. I don't think they're going to beat Buffalo in Orchard Park. I think Buffalo is going to be PO, even without Von Miller.
Man, I tell you what, Josh Allen is – I think he's looking at a whole nother approach now. I think, what they went through the previous week and lost the game in New York, I think Josh Allen going to put up some points on the Jets. The Jets is what I love the Jets defense, and I love what they've been doing, but I just think Buffalo just too much for them at home.
Yeah, and Buffalo is fighting for home field advantage. They could get it now that Kansas City lost last week, and they could have home field for all of the playoffs, and they would only have 2 games to get to the Super Bowl.
And another thing, too, Buffalo went back up on the lowest percentage to go to the Super Bowl. For us, the highest percentage for us going to the Super Bowl, Buffalo went up this week, and Buffalo is the AFC favorite to go to the Super Bowl once again.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
I'm going with Buffalo as well.
Cleveland at Cincinnati.
What did I tell you that? I went with Cincinnati last week. You went with Kansas City.
No, I went
with you. I told you.
Cincinnati. Know why I know I went with Cincinnati? Because I told you that, and you can check your records.
Let me check my
records.
records.
I went with Cincinnati because Kansas City hadn't won in Cincinnati.
You told me you like Kansas City, though.
No, I said I like Cincinnati because I read that stat. Kansas City.
I know. I went with Joe Burrow because.
Yeah, I went with Cincinnati because they hadn't won there since 1984. Reagan was president.
Cincinnati. Okay, I'm going with Cincinnati. You going with Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. It's going to be a good game, I think.
Oh, it's going to be a good game.
Battle of Ohio, Cleveland and Cincinnati.
But you know what? If Cleveland defense show up like they did this past week, they were rocking it.
Yeah, they do. So but I'm gonna still go with Cincinnati. I think they're starting to get in playoff mode. So,
but that's always a tough game. Whenever Cincinnati and Cleveland play, they be battling. It might be a last couple of minute game time situation.
Mm-hmm. It could be.
Yeah.
Houston at Dallas.
Houston. Oh, David Mills is playing. They've started him back this week.
Mills.
But Dallas right now, they lighten it up.
Can you say that one more time?
Dallas is lighting it up the second half.
Just one more time so everybody can hear it out there.
Oh.
I'm going with Dallas.
Well, they ain't playing nobody, so I can get a team up. I can have Mac to come out and coach, and I can get me a couple of teams. I go out and run some routes. Yeah, we'll beat the Houston Texans.
Hey, they didn't make the schedule. They just played.
I know.
And here's an interesting
and then they gonna play the Jaguars. So don't get all hyped up about that. They ain't playing nobody.
Yeah, about the Cowboys is they have the most wins other than Philly against winning teams.
And they had the softest schedule this year in 2022.
They had a number 1 seed. They were the number 1. They won the NFC East last year, so they had to have the number 1 division winners.
Yeah. If they playing the Colts. Look, they playing the Colts, the Texans.
So did the Giants.
And the Panthers.
So they didn't play the Panthers.
They playing them.
Not this year. No, they don't.
I thought they play them. They play the Jaguars. They playing the Jaguars.
Yeah, and that's the next game we're going to talk about. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Huh?
Cowboy about 60. Cowboy might be about 20 because I don't know. But I will give you.
It's the battle of Texas.
I will give you this. Houston might cover the bit.
I think they will. I think Houston is for some reason.
David Mills, he's just set out a couple of games. So he gonna be on fire. He gonna have his best game. He gonna have his best game.
Well, and also Anthony Brown, their left starting corner or right starting corner, is out for the year with a torn Achilles. So they're starting Joseph. So
yeah, Joseph kind of weak too, though.
Yeah.
Joseph
He's the guy who got in trouble over the summer with his.
He got in trouble over the summer, and I know that it was talk about him playing, and they were thinking that he should have been punished. But hey,
yeah,
hope he can get it right and stay focused on football.
Yeah, right now he's sick, so he didn't practice. Probably
not that feeling. Not feeling good. Okay,
Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Jacksonville at Tennessee. Man, the Titans just came off a loss. I wouldn't want to play them.
No, I wouldn't either.
So Titans gonna beat Jacksonville.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence has a foot injury. He said he's gonna play a toe injury, but he does have. I would go with Tennessee on that one.
Yeah, I think Tennessee is up. They favor by 4 points.
Yeah. Philadelphia at New York, the big game.
The big game. Well, one of the things I love about Philadelphia coming up to the Meadowlands, that we always kick their butt up there.
Yes, that is true.
So I think it's going to be a surprise week. I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going to go with the Giants too. And the only reason I'm going with it, because if they can control and get Saquon started, the only issue I have with the Giants is can their receiving core make enough plays? Because they're going to stack the box against Saquon.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope somebody can show up at the receiver core, and I think Daniel Jones going to make some good decisions. I
think he's going to run the ball a lot more.
He's going to probably run the ball more, and plus he's making some good decisions on the football field.
Yeah. So you're going with New York?
I'm going with New York.
I'm going with New York this week. I'm going with the Giants. Here's an interesting game because of, and I'll tell you the reason when we talk about it. Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
The Ravens favored by 8.4 points, and I just right now it's momentum going with the Steelers, and then they ain't got Lamar Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. Huntley is start.
Remember we talked about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, that defense playing good. I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they looking like old, you know.
Yeah, and somebody I should have took.
Watts and those guys are playing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, if Tomlin wins Tomlin wins these next couple of games, he's going to be over 500. That would be an incredible task.
He never have had a losing.
I can't believe they put Baltimore 8.4 against. I'm going with Pittsburgh to win this game.
I'm going with Pittsburgh too, because you know what? The history have shown me in the past that the Steelers are always playing tough football. They don't they play good, sound, fundamental football.
They do. They really do. They really do.
I'm going with the Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the
Ravens.
Steelers.
The Ravens, all the air. Say somebody let all the air out the Ravens.
Yeah, and they don't have enough firepower on offense. But Pickett's playing better.
He, you know what? He threw a touchdown to Lil Haywood, and it looked good. So he getting his momentum going, and hey, he at home. So I'm thinking he's gonna have a good game.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here's the game: Kansas City at Denver.
Kansas City favored by 9.5 points.
I think they're gonna win by that. I do
too. Because one thing about Kansas City, when they come off a loss, they usually come back mean.
Yeah. Do you think Hackett is done after this year?
I think they probably gonna give him another year, another chance.
You think so?
Yeah, because they was real high on him coming out of Green Bay, and I think he'll get another chance.
Yeah,
I think they owe him that. I think they at least need to give him 2 or 3 years of trying to make things right.
Now I've heard this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he wanted Aaron Rodgers so he could get Devontae Adams, but they couldn't get Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Green Bay re-signed him, and he didn't. It wasn't Russell Wilson wasn't his first choice. Russell Wilson has perplexed me, and not from whatever they say about off the field, but how he's playing on the field, and that to me falls back on the coaches. They got to figure out the things that make him tick and what he does well.
Yeah.
Moving out of the pocket, is it certain size he throws to, and they have to build a game plan around this guy.
Well, something had to be wrong anyway with the receiver that they had in Seattle. And Russell Wilson couldn't quite get it right for him. I mean, they had some spectacular plays, but last year it started, drilling it down and fading away.
True.
And it was something was wrong with the timing or something. But when he went over to Denver, the huge expectations, and I think up until last week, I think Russell Wilson was talking about having his birthday party.
Yeah.
Worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. But another Bill Parcells saying, Bill has some sayings.
Bill, hey, when he says something, it sticks with you.
Yeah. He would always say that if you're a football player, and I know people are going to disagree with me, and you marry a celebrity, you're always going to struggle. And obviously Sierra is a tremendous singer and everything.
Right.
Just so much of a distraction, I guess.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
And that's maybe some of it.
And then, anytime something like the teammates didn't make the birthday party.
I don't think that's a big deal. Do you?
But I'm saying that should never make the news.
No, it shouldn't have. But why would that make the news? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And they losing games.
Yeah. And
that's what he talked about.
50% of the players didn't go to his birthday party.
Yeah.
Well, you're losing games. I don't want to go to a birthday party if I'm losing.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. But that's the hard thing. And some things like Rodney Peete played for us, and his wife is Holly Robinson Peete. Mm-hmm. He was fine, and she was fine. So I don't always agree with that. I think it's just the personalities that you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. But expectation, they had so many high expectations.
That's
and
true.
The fans and the media and everything is gone left on them over there in Denver.
Really, big time.
It's just a whole new. That's going to show you when you start losing, you is only good as your last play.
That's true. You really are, especially as an athlete.
Yeah.
As the athlete, you're only as good as.
And Russell Wilson making some money. He making $40-some million a year.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's in the top 3 when you talk about guarantees and all that, bonuses and stuff like that. He's in the top 3.
And now, believe it or not, Denver is a hard place to play because those fans are not forgiving.
Yeah.
They will be on you.
Oh, yeah. They loyal. I mean, you come to Denver, they figure that they got a home field advantage for sure.
That's right. That's right. Because
they know in the fourth quarter, most people going to be able to, I need some oxygen.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. But I think Kansas City is going to blow them out myself.
Kansas City
Denver has a pretty good defense.
Yeah, they do. But I'm telling you, Kansas City, they mad.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They got to get back on the winning track.
Yeah. Tampa Bay at San Francisco.
I'm going with Tom Brady.
You going with Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Now San Francisco.
It's 6-6.
I'm going to go with San Francisco, even with Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, he was 25 or 37 last week. He threw the ball a lot.
Yeah. But the reason I'm going with San Francisco is because I think their defense is better than Tampa Bay's defense, and it's at San Francisco. So, and it's
one of the things I know about the Broncos, when they win, they got a little momentum, and they were just on Monday Night Football.
Buccaneers, you mean?
Yeah, the Buccaneers. I mean the Buccaneers. And so I'm thinking that Tom Brady is finna get just like the Steelers. They finna get on that winning side of the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you like the 49ers?
I like the 49ers. I think the 49ers going to
Hey, Brock, they go Brock Purdy. They go bring some heat on Brock. He go choke.
Yeah, they are. But you still got Debo. You still got McCaffrey. You still got Brandon Ayuk, and you still got George Kittle.
And
So
Debo got a little injury, I think, too. Though he's not 100%.
They have talent, and
but
their defense.
Chris McCaffrey, man, he brings it.
Yeah, and then so does Kittle, and so does Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. But
I just think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win. That's just my opinion.
I'm going with the Bucks. You going with JJ on over there, 49ers. B-Dub with the Bucks.
Carolina at Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, I think Seattle is there. I thought Seattle was
Geno Smith, he's still in the top 10 in quarterback rating and things. So he's doing everything else to manage the team enough to win, and he's still using his talent that he have out there on the football field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We missed the game too. Las Vegas at the Los Angeles Rams.
That's Thursday night game, right?
Yes, that's Thursday night's game.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night game. I'm going with. Is it Chargers?
It's the Rams.
The Rams, man, the Rams. Aaron Donald is hurt. Aaron Donald's not playing, so the Rams they looking at draft choices for next year.
Yeah, but they don't have a first round pick.
I know they don't.
Yeah, because Detroit has their first round pick. Detroit's gonna have another top 3 pick.
Detroit gonna go from they were at the bottom last year. They're gonna be maybe wild card this year, and they're gonna be awesome next year.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Las Vegas. I think Detroit is, and that's a lesson to people who think they're gonna stack up for Super Bowls for that 1 year. This could happen to you.
Yeah, you don't have nothing to play the second year coming out of the Super Bowl. Yep. It's gonna be one of those teams where they might be 3-12, 3-13.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Las Vegas.
I'm going with Las Vegas as well.
Yeah. Okay, we had we did Carolina and Seattle. We both picked Seattle. Miami at the Chargers. This is what you were talking about. They stayed on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Chargers were the team that I really thought was going to do some things, but now they talking about, the coach might get fired after this year.
Yeah, this is another issue because
I think there's a lot going on behind the scene with the Chargers. So they, Justin Herbert, man, was one of my favorite players right now, but I just think the Dolphins got too much firepower.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more competitive, but this is a night game. I still think Miami will win. Tua is a little banged up, but they said he's going to play.
Yeah. Chargers got to outscore them, and I don't think they're going to be able to outscore them. It should be a good, entertaining game, though.
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, it'll be. Now, here's one. New England at Arizona.
New England favored by 1.5 points.
I'm going to go with New England. I usually go for
I'm taking the Cardinals at home. This is going to be their best home game that they play. So? Yeah. I'm taking the Cardinals.
So I'm gonna go with New England. I think New England's gonna play. Kyler Murray scares me.
New England just ain't got no offense.
Yeah, but
they really look really bad this past week.
But they played Detroit, correct? No, they didn't play Detroit. They played Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I can see why that is, because it's a division rival. They know them. But I'm going to go with New England because I think they can obviously Hopkins is going to get his points. But I just think New England – I think there's another coach we talk about that might get fired. I think Cliff is in trouble. I think they're going to get rid of him as the general manager.
Yeah. Because they they spend a lot of money on that. I mean, things just not clicking. I mean, they started off last year. They started off being 11-0. This year they started on the opposite side of the road.
But this same thing happened to him when he was at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done this before. This is his MO, is that he starts off and everybody thinks he's going to win a national championship in college and then thought he was going to win a Super Bowl in the pros. But then he goes backwards, and he did that in college. He's doing it in the NFL now.
But one of the things is that, teams, people start watching what you do, and then after so many weeks, they make those adjustments. And if you're not creative, you're going to be real predictable on your style of play.
Very true. Very true. So that's the games. But we can talk about some things other than the games since we got through all of them. I'm thinking New England, you take Arizona. But right now, who is the MVP of the NFL, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I'm going to have to say the team that's winning the most. I mean, I like Jalen Hurts right now because of they got 11 games, and he's been a big part of that success. But before as I say Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah, I would say he's the MVP, and you can't argue with it because he is successful. A.J. Brown was a huge pickup for him.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown is playing at a different level.
But I do say Patrick Mahomes been one of the most consistent performers of all time this year.
Yeah.
And then you got Jalen Hurts, and you got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And
even Saquon Barkley but he slowed down.
I'm talking quarterbacks, but yeah, Saquon was up there too. Saquon was up there, yeah.
But if you're just talking quarterbacks, but if that didn't get hurt, he'd be in this. You'd be talking about that Prescott within this. But right now,
Prescott, he's improving. He's back out there and doing some things. You can tell that he brings a lot to the team for the morale of the team.
Yeah.
As trying to distribute the ball to everybody, and then using the backs. I mean, Tony Pollard and those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just the offense just look better. Now, one thing I can say about the Cowboys that they're doing better this year than ever before is they're not predictable on offense.
Yes. And here's the funny thing. This is if they win tomorrow's game or Sunday's game, excuse me, that is the first time since 1996 that they went 2 years in a row winning 10 or more games.
Wow.
Yeah, since 1996.
Well, they're definitely going to win 10 games on the doggone Houston Texans.
Yeah, I really hope so, but you never know. I remember when they were a franchise team and I was coaching for the Cowboys and we lost to them, so I don't take anything for granted.
Well, you really can't take anything for granted because they're all professional football players.
That's exactly right. So
yeah,
there.
And then you can get caught with your draws down. So
yeah,
you can actually lose a game.
Yeah. So you're saying, we didn't say Kirk Cousins either. Jason, I'm surprised he didn't say anything about that. Kirk Cousins got to be in the MVP talk. Well, they lost 2 games.
Kirk Cousins deserved to be mentioned because so many people have talked negative about him, and I think watching the Vikings now, you see them in a whole different perspective. They are exciting to watch. Got some great players.
Yeah, they do. So, it's just in the big games, can they show up?
Exactly.
That's the question you have to ask. But I think Kirk Cousins should be in there.
But when they only didn't score number 3 points against the Cowboys, that right there say, man, I don't know about the Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah. But they did a lot of good things this year. Everybody, Cowboys lost to Green Bay, and everybody beats Green Bay. I mean, so.
Well, I had predicted they weren't going to go up there. That's the one game they won. They just don't play on Lambeau Field. They can't play on Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Field has been issues. We beat them in Wisconsin. I don't know.
Y'all in Milwaukee?
Yeah, we played them in Milwaukee. And but I haven't played a lot of Lambeau Field. I think I made it play. I played it there in Buffalo, but maybe once or twice in my whole career that I played at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
They had Don Mikowski at one time.
I remember Don Mikowski.
Yeah, Magic Man. And then they had
the Magic Man. He from California, wasn't
he? Yeah. Yeah.
So Magic Man.
But so you're picking Jalen Hurts. Right now, I think he's the lead because they do have the best record.
It's either gonna be Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes right now for us.
Yeah.
And then Josh Allen. So those three right now, that's what I put up there at the top.
Yeah.
Top tier. They would be my top tier of guys.
Who is the coach of the year?
Coach of the year. Well, I had said Brian Daboll with the Giants, but Nick with the Eagles might be that because of what he's doing. I mean, unless they start losing, he could probably get coach of the year.
You think so?
Yeah.
It was just somebody like Dan Campbell if they make the playoffs.
Oh, Dan Campbell, yeah. I definitely say Dan Campbell could be a name that's started going to the top.
Yeah, or even Josh McDaniels, because you think of the Raiders, how bad they were at the beginning, and they're coming back and they make it, that's going to be something.
I'm telling you, if they wouldn't have lost those 3 games, they were up by 17 points.
Yeah. Yeah, so they have an opportunity. Even, I'm going to tell you another guy that's a little bit off there is Mike McCartney, because everybody thought he was going to be replaced by Sean Payton.
Oh, they had gave the job to Sean Payton.
Yeah, they gave the job to him. And McCartney's, but this is going to be a big week for him. From the standpoint is that they're playing the Texans, and they're supposed to beat the Texans. And that's when you struggle with teams that you're supposed to beat.
Well, one thing, I bet me and Mike talked this year before the season started, and they had him on the news today, and he was talking about OBJ. They said that I had a conversation yesterday, and he said that one of the things that the conversation about was off the field stuff. He said they talk about families and things like that. They weren't talking about football. So I thought that was pretty unique that and that's the kind of guy Mike is. He personable, he's more concerned about you, and then X's and O's is one thing, but having a good conversation about life is another thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's doing a tremendous job because nobody anticipated this, and he manages that team well.
And another thing too. When I was saying when he went to Green Bay, I mean, you should have seen the fans all cheering for him, and the applause he was getting, and the people coming up hugging him. So he's a highly respected guy. He brings a lot, and to the Cowboys, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I would think you're right. Sirianni has to be in the top guy. Then Dayball's in there, and Mike McCartney. Even I tell you what. The two coaches, the one at Miami and the one at Minnesota,
I was gonna say.
I think that's going to be a tough one because it's really, and then Dan Campbell, we said. So I think all those, and if Dan Campbell makes it with Detroit to the playoffs, he deserves it.
Yeah,
deserves it. Now, on defense, who's the rookie of the year?
Oh, the rookie of the year is gonna be Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hutchins is having a good year.
Yeah, Hutchins is having a good year, but Sauce. They talk about Sauce, man. They said that he really have played really well. So I'll get the Sauce.
Yeah, yeah. You haven't heard about the number 1 pick Trayvon Walker from Georgia that plays for Jacksonville?
I hadn't heard nothing about him, Harley.
That's kind of interesting. How about the offensive rookie of the year, which I think is going to be a little bit more difficult?
Yeah. The offensive rookie of the year might be the running back for Seattle, Walker.
He's hurt now.
Oh, he's hurt? I didn't know that. Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that Chris Olave from New Orleans.
Chris Olave is having a good year. He's really playing well. But yeah, the Burst guy, the Burst kid, he finally got his touchdown.
I like him.
Yeah, from Arkansas.
He is big,
but he's hurt. He got hurt in this game.
Concussion. He got a concussion.
Yeah, he got a concussion.
Yeah, so I like him, but I think it's going to be between Walker and Olave.
Yeah. Walker did some spectacular things. If he can get back in there for a season now, I mean, he was carrying that ball and see, that's one of the reasons why Seattle was a complete offensive team.
Yeah, and
balanced team, I'd say.
Yeah. Who would be the offensive player? You're still saying Jalen Hurts would be the offensive player of the year?
He's one of them. I think it probably going to be a quarterback.
Yeah. How about defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year, might be Michael Parsons. Because man, everybody's been talking about him, and his popularity have really grown here in Dallas. He's one of their poster boys here now. People are talking a lot about him. He said
he's not LT though. LT.
No, he's not LT. Yeah, but he said the right thing when they interview him and stuff. So I think he's growing. This is his second year, so they talking about it. I mean, he's a test once he gets to playing.
Yeah, you're right.
And he can run, so he might be the defensive player of the year.
And who would be his competition?
Oh man, it's kind of up there in the air. It's gonna be somebody that got some sacks for sure. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be it's probably gonna be another defensive lineman.
Well, good choices. I would say Michael Parsons has a chance. There's somebody who has more sacks than he does. I gotta remember it.
Yeah, I hadn't even checked the sack leaders.
But I think he has a good chance. And the next thing is, who is the GM of the year?
GM of the year. Well, Nick Bosa or the 49ers, really.
Yeah, I thought Nick Bosa had more sacks.
Yeah, Nick Bosa and Matthew Judon from the Patriots got 13.
Oh, he's really good.
He's
Bosa the challenge, yeah. Bosa.
Yeah, Michael Parsons is third. So it's Nick, Justin, and Parsons.
Yeah. Who is the GM of the year?
Oh man, might be. I might go with my boy out there with the 49ers.
Really?
Yeah, I might go with him.
John?
Yeah, John. Yeah.
John Lynch.
John Lynch.
Why wouldn't you go with Howie Roseman for Philadelphia?
Yeah, he was GM in 2017.
Yeah. He's done a nice job.
He done a nice job.
Yeah.
So Brandon Beane might be the GM. Brandon Beane for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes,
it just depends on who going to that Super Bowl too, though.
That's true.
But I do like the Bills. I think the Bills are one of the teams that Odell Beckham probably gonna sign with.
You think so?
If he signed with the Bills, then Brandon Beane will be GM of the year.
Wow, interesting.
Because I think right now the Bills are positioning themselves to be right over there in Arizona come February.
Good discussions tonight. We're getting almost on. Got to say to my friends that are in Jamaica, and they know what I mean. Hoo-dee-hoo!
You said that pretty good, man. I'm about to sign you up and go to Hollywood. We going to Hollywood.
But they're in Jamaica today, and they're in Montego Bay having a good time. So wanted to say hello to them and hope they have a good time. But it was a great show tonight.
But one of the things I'm gonna tell you, I'm in California, and I'm finna wallow this week.
You're gonna wallow.
The Miami Dolphins gonna wallow.
Stadium is SoFi Stadium. But great show. Can't wait to do it next week. Talk to you. Okay.
Have a good time. Have a good week.
All
See
right.
you.
See you later. Talk to you later. Bye.